I never got my initial investment back in the oversized Rizzler business that he started for an entire week before he realised that the police might look dimly on someone selling oversized Rizzlers at the skate park and tried to frisk them rather regularly.
Sorry, just to explain to my naivety, what do we need an oversized Rizzler for?
Because people at skate parks smoke what's called on the street spliff. And
yes, okay.
Oversized.
I rather thought that's what you meant, but I just didn't understand the juxtaposition with the skate park. But I get it now.
I invested £22.50, which I've never seen again, even though he did apparently get rid of all the oversized Rizzlers before he decided that he might come to the unwelcome attention of the local Rozzers. That was a stillborn business, I think we'll call that one.
Welcome to Own It, Your Business and Your Life, with Nicola Cairncross and Judith Morgan. In this podcast, we're going to cover everything you need to embrace to become a successful entrepreneur, marketing, money, and much, much more. How to create a business doing just what you love. How to own it, your business and your life. This one will be fast, funny, feisty, and very lively. So sit back and enjoy the show.
Hi Judith, how's your week been then?
Marvellous, Nicola. How about you?
It's been unforgettable.
Oh dear, shall I tell you about mine then?
Yeah, you go.
Well, it was the summer solstice on Sunday. And on Monday, the horoscope, I have a client who is Sally Kirkman, astrologer. And Sally writes extremely well, whether or not you like horoscopes. And Sally knows that I ignore her when she tells me that Mercury is retrograde.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to know that. And I ignore my stars when they're bad, but I like them when they're good. And for all of us, they were phenomenal on Monday. So much so that when something wonderful happened on Tuesday, I had to write her an email and say, oh my God, you'll never guess what, which is what my clients always do to me. And basically, whether you believe in this sort of stuff or not, it's all go, go, go. This is a phenomenal week. And as I told you just now, somebody who's owed me an enormous sum of money since 2011 phoned me yesterday to tell me he's intending to pay me back within the week, which is very exciting.
That's so nice.
So I know a project which has been stuck for 4 years has basically started to move again. So I feel closer to the dream, excited about the summer solstice because I love daylight. Yeah. And I've had a few new clients coming in this week, which I always love. So I really needed this energy to move from stuck to unstuck.
Well, that's brilliant. And what you talking about the summer solstice has done is unstuck my brain, because as you laughed so heartily when I said that my week had been unforgettable earlier, it was because I couldn't actually remember one single thing about my week. But you've rescued me with the summer solstice, because the summer solstice is a special day to me as well. But what actually happened on Sunday was we were just lolling about, doing a bit of gardening, eating nice lunch and all that stuff. And then we got this phone call. Oh, I know, Chloe turned up. My niece turned up because her mum's staying somewhere else at the moment, and her dad's in Rome. He's with the Navy, as you probably recall, and he's in.
Yes, I do. Yes, I've met him. Nice man.
Yeah, no, he's in Rome trying to stem the tide of the immigrants coming in from Northern Africa, and so they're trying to make some sort of treaty about where they should go and all that business. And Nick's somehow involved. Anyway, she's missing her dad terribly, and so she came over and just hung out with us, which was really nice. And then Phoebe finished work at 6. She and Nelson were going out with their dad for Father's Day, because it was Father's Day on Sunday.
So it was.
And and then they called us and said, do we fancy coming over to our favourite Italian restaurant? So we all went over there, and Chloe, me, Steve and everyone. And we're sitting there halfway through the meal. We realised it wasn't just Father's Day, it was our wedding anniversary.
Oh my word. I was just going to say this is a very modern arrangement, isn't it? You know, cousins, children, exes, significant others.
Yeah.
It's all very terribly modern, this. And then it's your wedding anniversary as well.
Yes, and it was really, I just looked up at one point and I said to Evan, I've just realised it's our wedding anniversary. Happy anniversary. And he just
So did you chose to get married on the 21st of June for that very reason, did you?
Well, no, because I'm not that clued up, Judith, on these things. So
okay.
we chose the date, found out it was the summer solstice, longest day of the year. I didn't for a second imagine it would be the same day every year, but it does turn out it is. But I don't understand why we've never had a Father's Day on our wedding anniversary before. Does Father's Day move around then?
I think Father's Day is always on a Sunday. Is that right?
Yeah.
And summer solstice obviously wouldn't necessarily be on a Sunday because it's on the 21st.
Yes. So
I'm not sure. To be honest, I'm not sure about that. But I'm sure one of our listeners will enlighten us. I mean, I don't really believe in Father's Day because Mother's Day is from Mothering Sunday, and which is a biblical thing, and Father's Day was invented by Hallmark cards. So I don't have any truck with Father's Day, and my mother didn't either.
No, I can tell that we're neither of us are going to be bothered to Google it, but it was just interesting to me. But the other thing about my week is, I'm going to tell you later, I've had an amazing week. Every day I've had a great week. Every day I've opened up my emails because one of the first things I do is get up, go make coffee, come back, look at my emails, and I shouldn't really, but I do. And every day my email inbox has had something lovely in it before 8 a.m, which is really rather nice. A nice week.
Very nice. Yes,
indeed. So what's fueled?
Frankly, Nicola, that should be a rule, that there should always be something nice in one's inbox before 8 o'clock in the morning.
Well, usually there's a tut message, which is something in one's inbox, so that'll do. Nothing else arrives.
That's true. Yes.
So what's fueled your fire then?
Two things, opposite sides of the same coin. The excitement of new clients, not for me, for them. When I talk to a new client, they're excited because they've started their own business. And so I spoke to a lady this week who was 6 months into it, and she'd left a proper job and was discovering it wasn't quite as easy as it looked.
Yeah.
And but she was still excited. So the excitement of new clients and the determination of existing clients for the game of self-employment. So, the fresh-faced, naive enthusiasm fades, but a stronger, determined, real energy comes in. Or doesn't. Occasionally it doesn't come in and you go back to the day job. But mostly, you remember being excited and nervous and scared at the beginning. But then it's two things I'm saying, but they're the same thing really. There's the excitement when a client is new to it, and there's the determination when they're getting stuck in and realizing it's not quite so easy as it looks, but they're still keen.
That's very interesting because it ties in very beautifully with what's fueled my fire this week, which has been referral business. Now, referral business is an interesting thing because it is wonderful when it happens, but it's not something you're generating except by just doing a good job. So it makes me very uneasy because it's not coming as a result of a strategic outbound or inbound marketing campaign. It's just something that happens if you're doing a great job. So the determination that I have as an existing entrepreneur is to not rely on referral business, but although it is fabulous because it makes you feel great that people have come to you, because they've heard good things about you, is not to just wallow in that enjoyment, but to be determined still to create a systematic outbound marketing system.
I have to say that both as an accountant and as a coach, word of mouth referrals, i.e., happy customers telling everybody they came across about me, is a significantly important. I don't know what I'm saying really, but it's significant importance in both of my businesses.
Yeah.
I love it. And you're right. There's nothing nicer when somebody says, "I know about you because of so and so," and it's an existing or past client. But it was really important in my accountancy business, like significant. I would say exponential growth from doing a good job as an accountant was massive. As a coach, also good, but because of the difference in the two roles, I think a recommendation to a good accountant is quite rare. Whereas I suspect there are probably quite a lot of good coaches around. I don't know, but anyway.
Also, I found that clients don't want to give away to their friends that they're getting coaching.
Well, you're right. We're a secret weapon, aren't we? Often.
Yeah, a secret weapon and
Yeah.
a little bit of embarrassment, because men particularly don't want to admit that they're getting help. Although it is becoming more accepted to have a high performance coach, isn't it, in corporate world?
Yes. Now, I'm trying to remember who the lady this week said that she'd heard about me from. Oh, I know. She'd looked up. Do you remember those? They were called jellies. They were kind of, they were sort of hub working opportunities for people working at home on their own. I think it might have died out, but she looked up, I'm lonely on my own working at home, discovered jellies, went on there, found me, even though it's an outdated thing. So, people can find you in the most extraordinary ways.
Yeah, I think, there's plenty of that still going on. We've got one at the end of the road, rope tackle, and I know that, do you remember Matt Duggan, our mutual friend?
Yes.
He's working in one that Jonathan Farl of Rockstar Mentoring has set up in the East End of London.
Oh, no, I knew there were lots of them about, but there was one branded jelly, and I think jelly has stopped doing it or does it in another way or something.
Great name.
Yes.
Okay.
But first, a word from our sponsors. Are you sick to death of all the hyped up quick riches and push button offers out there for making money online? Well, the Fast Start Masterclass will teach and mentor you how to create your own successful online business in under 4 weeks. But you will have to do some work. The most important thing you need to know about us is that we've made a great full-time living working part-time from home for nearly 20 years now. We've also taught many hundreds of people to do the same. Our training is 100% money-back guaranteed. If you follow our simple system, you will get up and running with your new online business in under 4 weeks. You'll get access to everything you need to get started. Strategic planning tools, detailed training videos, weekly live support video webinars. You get your questions answered live, and we've also got a private online support group 24/7 365. Join the Fast Start Masterclass and we guarantee that you'll be up and running within 4 short weeks. Just visit thebusinesssuccessfactory.com to find out more.
So what's our client challenge of the week then?
Okay. I've written down here, trusting others to do your work as well as you.
Oh, good.
This is about training people, delegating people and giving up control. I've put here it's harder and slower by yourself. So learning to train other people and delegate is about ease and acceleration. And I'm prompted to bring this up this week because 2 clients have done it and were reporting how uncomfortable it feels. And it only feels uncomfortable because it's new. So, perfectionists who think that nobody else will ever be good enough are nevertheless embracing the concept of delegating and training members of staff to free up time to do more expensive, more important work themselves. And one client she was telling me, yes, I said, how's it going with your new administrator? Oh, great. However, it's not comfortable. And I said, well, nothing new is comfortable, is it? Until you get used to it.
Well, this is a brilliant choice. In fact, you're actually tapping into my word of the week here because I've brought on 2 new clients this week, which is just awesome. But I suddenly realised that my VA, Patricia, who always gets things done, albeit at strange times of the night sometimes, announced in our Slack software that she was going on holiday for a week. And she just sort of said, anything you need doing urgently. And I didn't realise that these clients were coming on. Then I totally forgot she was going on holiday. So yesterday I had 2 clients that wanted me to start AdWord campaigns by the end of the week. And I never start them until I've been paid. So I went into my Xero accounting software, which I've got a bookkeeper who runs it. And then Patricia generates invoices in it, to realise that I had absolutely no idea how to use it. And so I had to generate invoices, and because we hadn't got around setting up how we do it here Trello board for generating an invoice, an oversight that shall be rectified immediately she comes back. I was unable to generate an invoice for my 2 new clients, which is actually the worst situation ever. But I got round it by just looking at what the invoice numbers were and just choosing the 2 next ones and then generating manual invoices and sending those over saying, automated invoice to follow. So that was fine, but it did make me have a little moment of, and the other thing was that she hadn't quite finished getting out our last Own It episode 32. And so I went and looked at the Trello board for that, and I was able to follow it well enough to do it myself. And then she popped up later. Now, this is about trusting others, you see. I very much trust Patricia to do what she needs to do, and I've never known her to forget anything ever. But she popped up at 10 o'clock last night and said, "Oh, I'm just about to finish off Own It for you, and did you want the invoicing due before I go?" And I thought she'd already gone, so I hadn't been trusting her to do it. I thought she'd just gone off on her week's holiday with her kiddies' school and not done the jobs that I'd assigned to her.
Yeah.
So I'd done her a disservice there. I just said, "Oh no."
Yes, because she'd never given you any cause to think that before, had she?
No, but I'm a control freak. That's all entrepreneurs.
Yeah. And actually, what this client I'm thinking of said to me was, I always think to myself, "Oh, it's just easier to do it myself, and I'll do it better." And I know that feeling really well. It's perfectionist, and as you say, control. We try not to put the word freak on the end of control these days, but it is that. If you've been doing something forever yourself, you can do it fast and efficiently. Particularly women, the temptation is to keep on doing it.
Yeah, but what happened was I just thought, this is my fault. I should have just trusted her, and we do need to get that Trello board up on how we can generate invoices if she's not around. But I was just able to say to her, "Look, I've done it all. I thought you'd already gone. It's I should have known that you would have done it before you went, but no biggie. Just go and have a lovely holiday."
Yeah.
So that was cool. But yes, it is the main. I was watching something of Davin Michaels the other day. He's got a big outsourcing centre in the Philippines, and I was also watching what's the other chap's name? British chap. I can't remember his name now. Oh damn, he's very funny. Chris Ducker. He's also got an outsourcing centre in the Philippines, and he was saying that the biggest challenges from outsourcing comes from clients expecting their new VA or their new whatever to be telepathic and to expect them to know how you like things done. You have to expect a period of training, even down to things like which font you like using and what colours you use. Otherwise, your VA will produce a spreadsheet that's covered in green and orange, and you'll just go, "What?"
Yeah, I know. I think funnily enough, this used to happen in the cleaning business as well. Don't assume your cleaner will know how you like your house done. I remember once, one of our yardsticks in that was, somebody said, "But she hasn't cleaned the taps underneath." It's like, underneath a tap? If somebody hadn't told me to clean underneath a tap, I wouldn't even know there was an underneath of a tap. We're not mind readers, any of us. And, it's about showing people how to please you, and people do want to please you.
Yes, which brings us back to my word of the week, which is the How We Do It Here manual. Remember from E-Myth,
Hang on a minute. Are we leaping ahead to word of the week?
No, we're not. I'm going to think up a different one now because we've robbed.
Well, anyway, I wouldn't allow that one because How We Do It Here manual is 6 words, and I banned anything more than 1 word from last week.
I know, but I've had a little chuckle this week because I was going to say my word of the week is hoodie, which is HWDH.
No, don't even dream, Nicola, that I'm going to allow anything other than 1 word ever again.
So the How We Do It Here manual from Michael Gerber's E-Myth Revisited. How I'm doing it, how I used to do it at the hotel was I would I mind mapped it out first and then turned the mind map into a Word doc, then turned it into a PowerPoint thing, which made it beautiful How We Do It Here manual, which both my dad and Steve promptly put in a drawer and ignored.
I was just going to say that actually gave you more satisfaction than anybody else because nobody else ever looked at that, did they?
I know, but it hung over me for a long time. When I knew I had to do it, my dad was coming to run the hotel, it hung over me, the thought of having to do it. But just by mind mapping it, what needs doing every day, what needs doing every week, what needs doing every month, what needs doing every quarter, and then turning it into a Word document and then turning literally, because all of these things can be done automatically. So if you use MindMeister, for example, you can save it as a Word document, and then you can open a Word document and save it as a PowerPoint presentation. So all of that took minutes, the actual formatting, and that was brilliant. But how I'm doing it here at the moment is using Trello. And Trello boards, I was most impressed because, my sister Sarah and I, she's not doing the podcast anymore. I was having a complete panic because she hadn't left a video on what to do. But she had left a very detailed step-by-step Trello board, which meant that Patricia could pick up and do the podcast very easily just by following a step-by-step Trello board. And the thing about Trello boards that's so satisfying is when you've done a task, you can move it over to done, which gives you the most enormous pleasure of the same kind of level of ticking a thing off a list.
Yeah.
So
in my new project, where I use a spreadsheet, somebody else said they were using Trello, and another newbie went into Trello, and I can see they're all loving it.
Yeah, absolutely, and it's very good for visual people because you can set backgrounds on your boards that are rather beautiful, or just have a plain colour background if you prefer.
So actually, what I said here in the first line was trusting others to do your work as well as you do, and you said that the key issue with Patricia had been your sort of slightly random decision not to trust her, even though she'd never given you cause not to, because you thought she'd already gone on her holiday.
Yeah.
And I think that's the thing. So the lady that was telling me about this week is a chiropractor. And the thing where you learn to hold yourself in a healthier way and you sit up straight and all of that, and it's better for your back and blah, 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 and presumably you with your standing up. It's less comfortable at first because it's new, but once your body gets used to it, it's ultimately more comfortable, obviously. And I think that's the perfect metaphor for this. We're all learning how to train others and delegate. We're all learning how to give up perfectionism and control. It's a very worthwhile thing. It's nonsense to tell yourself it's faster if I do it myself. The only way you're going to grow your business is by learning how to do this. It's faster and it's easier if you can pay somebody else to do the stuff that you don't need to do. So there is a strong motivation for this, Nicola, I think, which should carry most of us through.
Yes, and I feel very motivated to do it because I've got Inga as well who's helping me with the Facebook ads, and every week she grows, and says, "Oh, shall I do that this week, or shall I have a crack at that first, and then you can see what I've done."
Yeah,
it's really an amazing feeling. You have to fight yourself from saying, "Oh no, so I'll do it."
Yes, that's right. That's right. It is. I do remember when it doesn't really apply anymore because men have got good keyboard skills just as good as women. But when I first went into sort of non-admin, non-secretarial work, I would do my own as well because I could. But men didn't in those days, which meant that we as women were doubling our workload. I wonder if it is a female thing.
Yeah, it probably is. Yes. Yeah, absolutely.
But it comes from around the house a bit, doesn't it? Which would leave it to me, give me another job. We just know it's more efficient if we do it. Maybe it's a women thing.
Well, it's only as men deliberately did things badly, so they'd never get asked again. That's definitely what was going on there. Although I'm obviously living at the moment in a house with someone who does everything around the house better than I do.
Well, let me ask you this then, in conclusion on Client Challenge of the Week. What's better about your life now that you've got better at delegating?
Well, I've been to the hairdressers this week. I've got a beauty appointment tomorrow morning. I don't need to start work until lunchtime if I really don't want to, apart from on this day when it's a joy to get up and do this relatively early. I've sat in the garden in the afternoon several times. I've knocked off by 6 every night this week, and generally speaking, I'm feeling very excited about the future of my business because I can grow it as big as I like without feeling that I'm going to be doing all the work and getting more and more stressed all the time.
Well, enough said, Nicola. Let's stop it there. You just explained the whole raison d'etre for getting good at training and delegating people to do stuff for you.
Absolutely. Right, word of the week then, Judith. You go first because I'm still trying to replace mine.
I thought we weren't doing this here. I thought we were going to do project updates here.
No, we need word of the week to come off.
Word of the week. Okay, so my word of the week is unstuck. Because the solstice Monday energy unstuck things, and there had been quite a lot of stuck energy for quite a number of years around some things that I'm involved with, and the movement is just so liberating. So I'm not going to bang on about it. Unstuck is my word of the week.
Well, mine is vision. because I was sitting with a calculator last night, working out what my vision is for clicksandleads.com. And my vision it was going to be to turn over 1 million within 3 years. But as I have had such a stonking week, and because my team are doing, Inga particularly is coming up so well, I've upgraded that vision. So I'm going to aim for turning over 1 million within a year.
Wow.
I know, it's big, isn't it? But if you work out that to turn over 1 million within a year, you have to turn over 80 odd thousand, let's say 85,000 a month. And then if you work out that most of my clients pay me £500 a month, and that could be increased without even touching what most agencies charge. So 85,000 divided by 500. And that's not to mention that each new client comes on and pays a setup fee. I'm not even counting that. I'm just talking about monthly
It's
recurring.
170 clients, though, isn't it? Or isn't it?
It's about 170 clients. Yes, that's right.
Yes.
And
That's a lot.
it isn't because a lot of the work is in the setup.
Yeah.
And so once you've actually got a campaign successfully rolling, Facebook does a lot of the heavy lifting by finding appropriate people who are like the people who've already taken the action, i.e. clicked, opted in, or even more.
Yep.
So you just have to maintain ads and rotate images and things like that to make sure that the accounts stay fresh. So what's 170 clients? So I figure that one person, i.e. an Inga or a me, can maintain easily 20 to 30 clients.
Okay,
So what's
so 125? 170 divided by 25. 6.8 people, 7 people.
Right, so with 7 part-timers working from home, I could have 1 million turnover a year business.
Wow.
And
that goes back to Client Challenge of the Week, doesn't it? So your training and delegation skills, your systems will need to grow with the business growing.
Yeah, absolutely. And then you need to think about what about when those part-timers have a week off sort of thing, who's going to take over. So you'd probably need 8 part-timers, one in reserve, always.
Yeah, you do. Yes. You could have a sort of floating permanent reserve backup person.
Yeah, exactly. And the other thing, the word of the week is vision. So I'm really seeing this, Judith. I can actually see this and feel this and touch this and taste this. And Steve and I were talking last night. I said, if you've got, say it's a 50% profit business, that's £500,000 a year profit. What could you then sell that business for? Because, of course, if you're not doing the work, then your business is eminently sellable, isn't it? So what multiple would you get? 3 times profit? 5 times?
Probably. 3.
3. So 3 times £500,000 is. It's only 1.5 million, isn't it? It's not that much.
It's plenty.
For what?
Well, I mean, if you go back to the cash flow game, you use it to go on and create something else, or you invest it. You could definitely live off that as an investment.
No, it's not enough for me, love. So I'm hoping that you could get a bigger multiple of that because it's completely automated and there's no overheads.
Well, you could if there are systems and the number of clients was constantly increasing, and you've got a pretty solid systems, really.
Yeah. So that
and reputation, I think.
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, that's what's that called in dental terms when you sell a dental surgery? It's
goodwill.
Goodwill. That's right. People won't pay for goodwill. So what I actually need to make this vision come.
I'm not sure about that. People pay for goodwill when they bought my accountancy practice.
Well, I often hear Chris Barrow talking about the fact that goodwill isn't monetizable in a dental surgery.
Yeah, but if it's not there, nobody's going to buy it.
Yeah, but what I need to do to increase my multiple, perhaps my word of the week should have been multiple. Perhaps we could talk about it in more detail in future. Is to create automated marketing systems that continually increase the client base.
Yes.
That's what I need to do then.
Actually, that's got to be your job, and that's the point of delegating, is that actually now you grow the business rather than work in it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. Exactly right. And I'm watching what Dan Norris does now, because there's no way he's doing WordPress jobs for clients, so he's working entirely on growing WP Curve. So that's why I'm following him very closely. But
is he the content machine man?
Well, his new book is actually called Content Machine, I think.
Yeah. Is it out yet?
No, it's out any day soon.
Okay.
He's still finalising it, but I'll let you know when it comes out.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
So my word is vision, and I can see it very clearly.
Okay, that's good. That's exciting.
Yeah. Okay, so that's word of the week, and project reporting is our next section. You've got a little.
Yeah, I've only got one tiny announcement to make here, which is I've been very oblique about my new thing for a few weeks because it hasn't launched yet. I'm still going to be oblique about it, but I do have a launch date. It's Tuesday, the 14th of July. So in about 3 weeks' time, I'll be able to tell everybody about it on the podcast, which is quite exciting. Team continues to grow, and 14th of July is Bastille Day.
Oh. Launch date and team continues to grow. That's marvellous, isn't it? And I'm looking forward to that. Okay, my project reporting is obviously I've just touched on it several times, but I've doubled my target this month. So my target was 2 new clients this month, and I've brought in 4 so far, and it's only the 24th. I've got another 6 days to go. So with prospects coming through the pipeline, people are booked into my diary to talk to me before the end of the month. So I might triple it. You never know. But I do need to create an automated outbound marketing. I mean, I'm doing Facebook ads, obviously, and I'm doing remarketing, but I just can't decide what else I should do. I've actually launched. This will make you laugh. I've created a Shoreham meetup for tech startups and bootstrappers.
Wow.
I know. I shall be, and 2 people have signed up to come along to the first one. So I need to find some way of reaching my target market in a way that can be done by other people, not me.
Let me ask you a question about the 4 clients this month.
Yeah.
Did they come through your automated systems, or have they all come from these events that you've been speaking at?
Yeah, 2 were the Vegas event, and 2 were referrals from an Infusionsoft certified consultant that I work with as I do his ads for him and he refers people to me.
You see, I think you mustn't underestimate how important this is.
But you can't rely on referrals, Judith.
I don't know where you've got that from. You can't rely on referrals. You can. What about what's his name? Adrian. What was his name? Ashley Latter.
Yes. What about him?
Well, that's what he taught people, to rely on referrals.
But you can't, because if people don't do it 1 month, you're buggered, aren't you?
I'm not saying you can't rely on it, but you can acknowledge it as a significantly important factor. In fact, it's brought in 100% of your business this month.
Yes, but I didn't do anything to make that happen, which is what.
So it's outside your control, is what you're saying.
Yes, exactly.
I think you can promote it. I think you should revisit your belief around that. I'm not saying it's exclusively that, but it's important. How can you promote that?
Let's make a referral business client challenge of the week sometime in the future.
Okay. Do you want to do it next week?
Yeah, we can do.
Yeah. Okay.
We'll talk about, because I could talk about it a lot more, and there's books I've read as well that lead me to believe I should be doing more.
Because you can encourage existing happy clients to make referrals. Anyway, we'll do it next week.
Absolutely. Who was impressed then?
Well, you're going to fall over when I tell you this one, okay? It's British Telecom, also known as BT. I've been out of contract forever. I moved in here in 2008, and I don't know how long you're in contract with them for, 2 or 3 years max. And I was very grumpy when I moved in here because I remember they made me pay a £300 deposit, which they did pay me back a year later, but I was cross about it. And I've had a router on the window ledge here ever since 2008. And I thought it was just that my computer was getting a bit slow, but they sent me an email that said, phone us to discover if you can get Infinity Broadband, which is, gazillions faster than I've got. And I rang up, they went, no. But, no, despite the fact that you're in the centre of, the nation's capital.
Yeah. No,
you can't have faster broadband. But what you can have is a new router at no cost, which might speed you up, and it has, and 50% off your bill. So my bill's gone down from £65 a month to 30-something, and I'm going faster.
I'm going fast.
Well, the only thing I want is online speed, because I use it for everything, including watching television.
Yeah, absolutely. That's astonishing that you can't get Infinity. It must be that your green box at the end of your road has already been used up because they've only got a
No,
limit.
I don't think it's been used up, but I don't think that the Tulse Hill Exchange. I believe you owned a flat once in Tulse Hill, didn't you? I don't think the Tulse Hill Exchange is at the cutting edge of entrepreneurial activity, so it's not at the top of their list for converting us, if you know what I mean.
No, they're probably working out from the London city centre.
Yeah, exactly. They're doing Westminster and Canary Wharf first. Yeah.
That's so funny, and it's even more funny that the flat we owned in Tulse Hill was literally around the corner from the top of your road.
Yes.
Which is even more spooky, isn't it? What's impressed me this week is my son Nelson, who, generally speaking, is a lovely person, but not very impressive in terms of entrepreneurial spirit, I mean, of course. He has decided that he needs to earn some money because he's going to lots of festivals this weekend. So he has turned into a whirlwind of odd jobs doing. He came out.
Motivation again, Nicola's got the motivation.
He certainly has. And
Yeah.
He cleaned my oven, as you know. It took him 3 days, and there were parts of the oven all over the kitchen for those 3 days. And it now turns out that the bottom oven now doesn't work due to his enthusiastic scrubbing. But as you will remember, I do have an insurance policy in place, which I had to take out when he accidentally broke the oven when I was away last year. So you can
I recommend keeping Nelson well away from the oven.
So you can imagine my reluctance when he turned up and said, "Have you got any jobs for me?"
Yeah, bless.
No, not actually. I don't. Don't touch anything. Just get out.
I tell you what my nephew did. My nephew did when he was at the same age of wanting money for festivals. I let him put all of my CDs onto the computer and then got rid of all my CDs.
Oh, fabulous. Well, I got him to do my book cupboard. And so I now have the most, and then that involved, in order to move the stuff out of the book bit of the cupboard that should have been there, he had to tidy the rest of the cupboard up. So, and then I've got all my books now divided into money and wealth creation, business success, and psychology and success thinking.
Do you take books out? Because Phoebe did this job at Christmas, was paid to do this job at Christmas. Do you take books out and not put them back in the place you got?
A year or two ago that Phoebe did that. Your time is slipping by for you, Julie.
No, you told me that on the podcast, and we only started in December.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, I read a lot, and so there's a lot of extra books, and I just bung them in the cupboard, but he sorted it out, and then he managed, and that was £5 an hour. So he was a bit disappointed that he was only going to get £10, so I bunged him an extra £5. And then Steve hired him to do a job where he paid him 15 quid for half an hour's work. So it's all disproportionate, I'm afraid, the hourly rate. So. But then he said,
well, I think that's quite good because then you surely there's a market, isn't there, in whatever the task is that commands a different hourly rate, don't you think?
Yeah, well, I think it was more about Steve's generosity, to be honest. But then when he'd finished these 2 jobs, he said, I said, "You staying for dinner?" He said, "No, I'm off, love. I've got 2 more ovens to clean."
Can I recommend the Oven Cleaning Company, who sent me an email last week saying it was since 2012 since they last visited. They are gorgeous. They come and clean your oven, and they take all your oven trays out into the eco van and make all the manky bits go away. And while they're there, they do the microwave, the fridge, and I can't remember what else. Anything that moves in the kitchen, they sort it.
And how much do they charge for that?
Quite a lot, 150 quid, I think, but not for cleaning your oven. Cleaning your oven's 50 or 60 quid, but if you want the microwave and the fridge and something else, it's about 150 quid. The Oven Cleaning Company.co.uk, I think.
Okay, well, I'm going to use them next time because they're presumably not break my oven. Okay.
No, they don't break it, but also they only use these eco-y products but still work. So you get the gleaming oven trays as well, which is lovely.
Very nice. But no, so what's impressed just generally is the fact that he's now hiring himself out to clean, to sort granny's gardens, clean various ovens, and he's a whirlwind. He's cycling from job to job. So
I think that's a brilliant story. I'll tell you why. Because we often talk about motivation on here and vision, actually. And because he knows why he's got a big why. He wants to go to the festivals.
He does. And he's got a vision because he's been to one now and he knows how much fun it is. So, yeah, he can see himself while he's cleaning ovens. He's visualising himself at those festivals.
Yes.
Good stuff. In the meantime, I have to ring the insurance company and get my oven fixed again.
Well, this is typical parenting in a way, isn't it? Is that you encourage entrepreneurialism, but it's at a cost to you. But still, I mean, I am still impressed despite the drawbacks.
Yeah, we were just reminiscing last night. I never got my initial investment back in the large, oversized Rizzler selling at the skate park business that he started for an entire week before he realised that the police might look dimly on someone selling oversized Rizzlers at the skate park and tried to frisk them rather regularly.
Sorry, just to explain to my naivety, what do we need an oversized Rizzler for?
Because people at skate parks generally smoke what's called on the street spliff. And
yes, okay.
Oversized.
I rather thought that's what you meant, but I just didn't understand the juxtaposition with the skate park. But I get it now.
Yeah, but so I said to him, I invested £22.50, which I've never seen again, even though he did apparently get rid of all the oversized Rizzlers before he decided that he might come to the unwelcome attention of the local Rozzers. So that was a stillborn business, I think we'll call that one.
Oh dear.
Yeah, my children, an endless source of entrepreneurial entertainment.
Well, he might have come to it late, but he's got a few cracking ideas in there.
Well, Phoebe's the one. When you come for lunch next week, I'll tell you about their little wheeze when they were 12. But
okay.
I can't even begin to tell that one on the radio, as it were.
One more thing before you go. You haven't told us how it went on the live stream with Rich.
Oh, it was brilliant, except I went bright red because someone turned the central heating on halfway through. Do you know, this happens to you probably, I'm sure. When you get a bit chilled working at your computer and then the heating comes on, you go all hot and flushed. Well, does it happen?
I certainly don't think I go red in the face, but I have had the central heating on this week and it is June, yes.
Right. Well, anyway, halfway through because it has been quite cold, so halfway through the Rich live stream, just when I'm coming up to my slot, the heating kicked in, or someone turned the heating on, I can't work out which, and I went absolutely bright red. So yes, apparently I did a really nice job, and he was really fun to do it with and talk with. And but when looking back at the recording, I'm a rather attractive shade of puce, which I'm not so happy with. But I'm getting to the stage where I actually don't care. Stage in life, I actually don't care anymore. So.
No, I totally agree. Most people on webcams look absolutely appalling. So how is that? How are we different from anybody else?
Exactly. Wonderful, always a pleasure, and next time we've got one more podcast before you come down, haven't we?
We have next Wednesday, and then I'm coming on the 3rd, aren't I?
All right then. Wonderful.
All right, beloved. Yeah. See you next week. Bye.
You've been listening to Nicola Cairncross and Judith Morgan. The podcast is called Own It, Your Business and Your Life. Do come and visit us at ownitthepodcast.com. We'd love to hear your feedback. You can find out more about Judith and visit her on her website at judithmorgan.com, and you can find Nicola at nicolacairncross.com.